Hi folks. Jordan Peterson gives some decent self-help advice, but as soon as he starts to talk about anything outside his field, he shows a profound ignorance and resistance to informing himself. Even within his field, he subscribes to some ideas from evolutionary psychology that don't hold up upon close inspection. Though Slavoj Zizek was not my first choice for someone to debate Peterson, that exchange made many Peterson fans realize that for someone who spends so much time talking about Marxism, Peterson does not know much about it. Anyway, in terms of getting your act together, I don't have a problem with Peterson's advice. Yeah, clean your room, wipe your ass, stand up straight, all good stuff, and I would even go so far as to say I wish more people on the left would adopt this kind of thing. In college, I knew a few communists I would never want as roommates, let alone want to live on a commune with. But given that Jordan Peterson appeals primarily to young men, I find his perspective on attracting women not only troubling, but flat out wrong. I know, hard to believe that the guy who sounds like Kermit the Frog and spent years getting rejected by the girl next door before she finally gave in is not the best person to listen to when it comes to advice on attracting women. But I know this because my own life flies in complete contradiction to what Peterson claims. According to Peterson, women look for men who make more money and have more status. My wife is a veterinarian.
My wife is a doctor. My wife is a doctor.
Oh, damn it. I really hope I don't sound like that. Okay. Anyway, when I met my wife, I was working as a public librarian. I don't need to tell you that librarians make less than vets and that they have a much lower social status. If we were to believe Peterson, my wife would never be interested in a guy like me. But as it is, she reached out to me on the dating site where we met. Why? Well, and this is very important for any single guys out there, women don't just look at how much money a man makes and what he does. I can't believe I even need to say this. My wife liked me for a host of reasons that have nothing to do with money and status and everything to do with me as a person. It probably does not hurt that I'm incredibly handsome too. That being said, if I did not have a job, I don't think she would have given me the time of day. Few women want to date a guy who can't get it together to take care of himself. But that does not mean they want or need a guy to take care of them or who has more status or wealth than them. This is not 1955, though Peterson might want to take us back to that era. Although a lot of the work women do gets valued less for reasons I won't get into here, women can take care of themselves financially. Given the shift in our economy towards fields that women tend to excel at, this is increasingly the case. Yet, Peterson still acts as if this model of man being the primary breadwinner is some kind of archetypical form we can't deviate from. He will turn to evolutionary psychology for this and claim that in primitive societies, women depended on men for the survival of them and their children, so consequently, women look for men who could best provide for them. In doing so, he shows himself to be grossly ignorant of the way our hunter-gatherer ancestors actually lived. First, in these societies, most of the nutrition people took in came from the work of women gathering, not from men hunting. There is some overlap and variance in who did what work in these societies, but this generally describes the division of labor there. Second, people in these societies generally shared with the rest of their tribe. So this whole idea of women looking for a man to provide for them because of our primitive past is a projection of 1950s culture and economics onto the past. Some people call this way of looking at things Flintstoneization. Christopher Ryan, author of Sex at Dawn, has spoken about this. Now, we should look at explanations from evolutionary psychology with skepticism. You can use it to explain or justify just about anything, and often these stories amount to nothing more than just so stories. Explanations that have nothing backing them up but a study with a small sample size and a story that seems to make sense. I hope to go more in depth on this topic in a later video. But right now, I just want to take a moment to point out that Peterson's view of attracting women is poorly suited to human relations today. As I pointed out, women are financially independent, and because of shifts in the economy and culture, some women are doing better than men. If a man thinks that he needs to earn more than a woman or have a job with more status, he will put many women out of his reach who could have made a good match for him. Women usually want someone who is around their intellectual level, and they might want someone who has a similar background culturally or economically. But getting hung up on what someone earns, where they fit in the hierarchy, does not seem productive. In fact, it seems like a really good way to make you feel bad about yourself and reduce your worth down to a dollar sign. Peterson's way of looking at this makes finding a partner sound like a financial transaction where you outbid the competition. Women want someone they can connect with, someone who can make them laugh, someone who can listen to them, someone who has something to say besides what their favorite YouTube personality told them, someone who is a cunning linguist or has plumbing skills, particularly when it comes to laying pipe. It does not matter how much money you make so long as you can hold down a job and take care of yourself. If you make yourself someone women enjoy being around, you can attract a woman who, according to Jordan Peterson, would not be interested in you. Now, I acknowledge that sometimes there is a Pride and Prejudice thing going on. Or a reverse Pride and Prejudice thing. I don't know, it's been a while since I read the book. Anyway, my point is that you should not just assume that the other party is not interested, based solely on their social standing. When my wife was single, she worried that she would intimidate guys who made less money or that society deemed less successful. Just as I think some guys assume a more accomplished woman would have nothing to do with them. But neither is necessarily the case. Gender roles are changing. Even our whole conception of gender is getting a deeper look. The division of labor in the home between men and women is shifting. Men do more domestic work than they used to. Not just stay-at-home dads like me, but men who work outside of the home, change diapers, watch kids, cook, and do other chores, way more than recent generations. These things will continue to change as our society changes. Jordan Peterson's ideas about men and women come from the same era as his Red Scare politics, not from some realm of Platonic ideals. Adhering to these supposed archetypes will not help you. I acted completely contrary to Peterson's advice and married an amazing woman. She's attractive, intelligent, kind, and fun. I would guess a lot of men today have had a similar experience. So don't be fooled by this guy. He does not know what he's talking about, especially when it comes to women. Thanks for watching, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you really like what I do, please support me on Patreon or pick up a tarot t-shirt. It's how I'm able to keep this channel going, and I appreciate everyone who has supported me so far. This has been Rebel Base, and remember, all generalizations are stupid, so never speak in absolutes. See you next time.
Mm-hmm.